it keeps everyone in a certain place in life. It keeps everyone in a certain mindset. And if you free people up and if you give people the ability to learn, or you show them that there's another way where they don't have to be dependent upon you, you no longer control the mind. You no longer can guide the outcome that benefits you, because people are looking to you. But freedom has been killed way before religion. We know that, especially as Black people, as African Americans, right? Knowing our history in this country, it wasn't freely that we were here. Religion wasn't given to us freely. It wasn't by choice that Christianity was introduced, or the main religion that we could, exercise, grow from, depend on, trust in. But that's it. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there no more. Go watch those videos. But what you just said right here are the facts. They're the cold, hard facts that people have to be willing to accept. It's not a benefit. It's not a benefit. And manipulation is literally out here taking out a lot of people, and I mean their minds. It's literally taking people's freedom, and people don't know how to think for themselves. They don't know how to speak up for themselves. They are completely convinced that the way they're going and the things they say, they do, and what they believe in is accurate. And it's not. It's not accurate at all. Now, this is going to be considered part 2 because I had an affirmation drop down. And instead of me editing these videos together, I'm not doing it. I'm not. That's just how real I am on my channel. The other video was going to be part 1, and I'm going to upload these on the same day, part 1 and 2, and you watch them. Okay? Now, that's just how me feel. That's how me be feeling about these videos, because when I'm not on camera, I don't have these problems, okay? When I'm doing voiceovers, don't them break up my recording. But I had an affirmation. Well, I had a, what is it called? I had an alarm drop down, which is my affirmation to make sure I say it every day at the same time. And it dropped down and it stopped my video from recording. And I had to restart. But I'm not putting these 2 videos together. I'm finna hit y'all with a part 1 and part 2. Okay, won't he do it? She will. So the next part, the most recent struggle that I've had was dealing with death in the destination. I realized that when I question or begin to make a firm change in belief, I get scared, convicted, or whatever you want to call it, because I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Whew. Been there, felt that, but I'm free now. That's how I've made videos that are titled, I Don't Fear God. That's how I've made videos about, is hell real? Or does Satan have more power than God? Before I got comfortable enough to make videos with those questions and the answers that I felt I've received concerning those questions, I used to feel like this. The very thought would make me feel as if though hell was next for me. Like that I was totally depraved in my mind, that I had a reprobate mind. And let me give y'all the definition of a reprobate, because child, we have heard it all at church. Reprobate, a morally corrupt, morally depraved, unprincipled, bad mind. A morally corrupt, depraved, and unprincipled or bad mind, rejected by God and beyond hope of salvation. Rejected by God and beyond hope of salvation. Thought it was nothing that we could do to keep us from the love of God. Okay. So I used to be afraid when I, first started my deconstruction journey. I did a lot of back and forth. Is this wrong? Should I be thinking like this? Should I be asking these questions internally? I wasn't saying nothing to anyone. Like, I never asked my mom certain questions. I wouldn't even ask my husband certain questions. It was just my own personal journey that I was afraid on majority of the time in the beginning, because I was like, this is wrong. I shouldn't be thinking like this. When I started reading the book Conversations with God, and that's when I started feeling more and more peace, and then logic stepped in, and I started This is going to sound crazy, but I started giving the Bible less power, and I started giving logic more power. I started leveraging my understanding as an individual and as a human, and realizing I only believed what I believed because I was told to. When you get to the basis of deconstruction, you literally have to trash everything that you ever thought was true, because you only thought it was true because somebody else told you. It is not what you know. It is not what you researched. It's not what you proved. It's what someone else gave you as your truth and your reality, as your foundation. And while it worked because you didn't want to go beyond it, it doesn't work now because you're out of it. When you're in it, you don't want to find more. You don't want to know more about it. The pastors and churches say stuff that they don't really mean, like, don't take my word for it. Go read it for yourself. No. Don't read none of it. How about that? Because you've been so deeply indoctrinated. By the time you get a pastor that tells you that, you've heard it so many times prior to that, that you ain't finna do it. That's just the word. Like, it's literally so much manipulation, y'all. It would take so much to break down what goes on in church. But it's all a mind F. It's all a mind F. Even, I think, like, pastors saying that is equivalent to a man or a woman who's cheating and say, you don't believe me? Go through my phone. You don't believe me? Look at my messages. They know that you're going to be like, nah, baby, I trust you. Don't worry about it. Like, give it to me. Let me see. Pull it up. Pull it up. Get active. Right? Like, that's me. I'm that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that was never dropping off her brain cells at the front of the door with the greeter. I was never trading my logic for salvation. Okay? Y'all can sing, I'm trading my sorrows, I'm trading my pain, I'm laying it down. I didn't lay mine down. Okay? Honey, when I tell you I have a whole purse just for my mind at church, my brain is in my head and it's in my bag. Okay? You will never have it. Never gonna get it. Never ever gonna get it. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. And this is where that comes into play. You may feel like that, and I don't know if you still feel like that now, but you may feel the conviction now when you're having the thoughts and you're questioning things, but that's okay. Because that's uncharted territory, because your brain has never flexed those muscles as it relates to those topics. You've never gone against that thought process. So it is okay for you to naturally feel fear of the unknown. But then once that fear turns into information, that fear turns into revelation, that fear turns into affirmation, right? Like, you're like, I know that my creator wants what's best for me. I know that my creator wouldn't do this to me, because that was my logic. I started breaking it down. Like, why would God want to send me to hell? Like, I'm choosing you because I want to. That's free will. Let me get this. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna move on, because this is really what helped me. Logically, I thought to myself, why would God create imperfect beings, give us free will, and then force us to choose it or else? That is a scam. You told me I was going to get eternal life if I chose you. But then you told me I have free will. But then the right to choose you or not is still in the power of my hands. But if I don't, this is my punishment. That's not free will. That's not free will. You can't tell me that I have a choice between a Chrysler and a GMC. It's up to me. But then when I pick the Chrysler, you like, I want the GMC for you, and you ain't pick it, you going to hell. What? It was my choice. You created and you gave both of them to me to choose. And I did. And now it ain't what you wanted. So now I get this portion. It's a game. And so when you think about the difference of heaven and hell, people's hell on earth is described or actually lived out in so many different ways that are literally torment, it's misery, it's pain, it's being unhappy, it's not having peace, it's having mental health issues, right? It can be homelessness for some people, it can be depression for other people, it can be financial struggles and hardships. That is hell on earth when you're not able to be in peace, in a state of creation where things flow from you, you're loving, you're kind, you understand, you're able to think with clear, mind with clarity, problem solving. You're able to, do for others, give to others, be inspired by or inspire others. That to me is heaven on earth. When you have what you need and then some, you live an abundant life from the surplus of source, right? Like I'm able to tap into this and get everything that I need. I'm not talking about wealth and riches and homes and cars and stuff. I mean, you're truly fulfilled and there is no torment and misery involved in that. There is no fear of where you live. There is no fear of who you're around or the environment that you're in. There is no misery or pain associated with the love that you have for someone else. No one else is hurting you, abusing you, lying to you, manipulating you, mistreating you, withholding things from you. That's heaven. When you're able to fully experience and to be in places that allow you to thrive, do well, and to share that with others in your life. That to me is heaven. There will be some moments where you aren't always completely happy, but you're not in utter torment and misery, right? And if you are, there's a way to come out of that. There are, like I tell my children, for every action, there's a reaction. For every action, there's a response. There is an opposite to everything in this life. We know that. Light, dark, right? We understand. You get the analogy. But my point is, it is freely for us to choose. We're here to choose. We're here to determine and decide on our own what we will experience and even at what point in our life we will experience it. Some people never experience vacations, travel, having a certain amount of money until they're able to make it on their own. They didn't know it when they were children because of who they were with or exposed to didn't have it. So that wasn't their reality. But when you get old enough to choose it for yourself, that's what you do. That's why I don't understand people thinking that it's okay to pass down religion when you wouldn't pass down a car from 1979 and it didn't work for you then and it ain't gonna work for me now. It was barely getting you where you needed to be, but now you want me to use it? It doesn't work that way. There's been advancements. I have a right to choose, and I don't want that. That shouldn't send me to hell. The God that you gave me isn't working for me. I want to go somewhere else. I want a different relationship. I'm on a different journey. Let me choose for me. If that's the God that serves you, great. Rock with it. Have your feel. Okay? But I know that this is better for me, and I don't want to be afraid of what it is I say loves me unconditionally. And my Creator would not think of me so much and give his only begotten son just to kill me again anyway and send me to hell. Dang, why didn't you just make us all perfect so we wouldn't let you down? So we wouldn't have the right to not choose you. Why would you create beings who have a choice and then still send them to hell because they didn't choose you? That is manipulation. That is actually crazy. But that is what we're being told in Christianity. That's why I don't believe majority of the foundational principles that are taught, because it is so contradictory over and over and over again. There are so many contradictions, and the only way they make it work is by throwing scriptures out there because they aren't using logic at all. And I don't think that's fair. I don't believe in hell, but I'm on the fence about heaven, meaning it could possibly be true, but not in the idea that Christians hold. Correct. Because even that is exhausting. It is. It's almost scary. Why? Because you realize that you've been living in a destination-based mindset and you've negated the present journey that you are now on. That was beautifully stated. I'm going to say it again. It's almost scary, right? She said that the thought, it could be true, but not in the idea that Christians hold heaven in, because even that is exhausting. It's almost scary. Why? Because you realize that you've been living in a destination-based mindset and you've negated the present journey that you are now on. Yep, like I just said, your heaven is on earth. We don't know what happens after this. We don't. People who say they've died, gone to heaven. There's people who say they've died and gone to hell. All I'm going to tell you is this. We don't know. None of us know. You can believe whatever you want. You're free to do that. You're definitely free to do that. I don't understand why anybody would choose to be miserable on earth, why anybody would choose to condemn the very creations of their Savior. If God has created anything that is abundant and beautiful, that is fruitful and thriving, why would you not want to be a part of that? Why are we just out, and by we, I mean some of y'all, not me. Why is there a portion of society that demonizes the good? The good. Not talking about the thing, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's fine if that's your belief. You don't have to love money, but guess what? You need it. So how about we just say we all love money? We love having enough. We love having some. We love having what we need. You love feeling good, being healthy, having somewhere to live, having a mean of income. You love those things. And you may not know you love them, but you do because you consistently go after them. That is consistently the standard in order to make sure you are able to live a certain life. So it's not fair to say things like the love of money is the root of all evil, because then we just supposed to be out here hating the ability to pay bills and to live in this society. If you don't love it, then that means you would be without it. I love my children. I want to see them flourish, thrive, and do well. And if that means that I have to work a certain way or live a certain way, make certain choices, so be it. But for the love of God, for the love of my life, I am going forward in whatever way towards whatever goals, vision, dreams, desires, ideas I have, so that their life is well, so that they are taken care of. So it's not about love being the root that leads to people making bad choices and doing things or treating people certain ways. That's a character issue. But what does it look like to not love money? You think people who don't love or like money, just that makes it come quicker or sooner? No. There are people who love money and they get money. They make money. They use their mind, right, to create more money because they understand they want to live a certain way. And so they're able to, hey, be resourceful. If that's working 2 jobs, working 3 jobs, investing here, buying this, going into real estate, going back to school so they can qualify for a better position with a degree or a certification. That is understanding that what is necessary and needed to live the certain way you want to, you have to take certain actions. But we're not given that freedom to see things logically and clear. The simple things are demonized. And guess what's so crazy? The people who demonize it end up having it in your face. And you call it the blessings of the Lord. No, it's the blessings of your tithe. Majority of the time. Every pastor is not an investor. And let me tell you something else, like I've said before in other videos, most of these pastors who have the leverage, the financial leveraging potential, is because you guys have given them the assets to do so. It ain't because they made such financial sound decisions. You can go from being an everyday working class man with the family, start a ministry, get 50 to 100 people in there to start tithing every week from what they make. You can go from having nothing, having a 500 credit score, to being able to get you a consistent salary from people who believe that they're sowing into the kingdom and into God, but it's really building up your house, not the storehouse. It is your house that is being increased. So when you want to go get a bank loan, a personal loan, or whatever, your name is associated to this ministry who has assets. All this property and stuff, they're able to leverage it and get lines of credit and to qualify for other things because they have a stable income that they're able to show proof of on funds they don't have to pay taxes on. Y'all better play some. 2 things that is definite, you can definitely do. You can play Uno and you can play Monopoly, but you cannot play me. It's impossible. It's impossible because I know too much. I got too much sense to be played with. And I'm not sorry. I just do. So if we're thinking about the blessings of the Lord, your pastor is able to live, go, do, be, have, whatever, because of your work, not because of their own. Again, I would love to see a pastor's portfolio prior to becoming a minister. Show me what you were able to do. Show me how you were able to leverage and gain and increase based off of the works of your own hands and the soundness of your own mind. If you can't do that, then I know what time we on. We on demon time, and I ain't talking about OnlyFans either. We have to get an understanding that the conviction that we have as parishioners, pastors usually don't have it. They don't have the same conviction because they're able to come up. You very seldomly are convicted when it's on the basis of you being able to come up from somebody else's conviction. Like, oh, pastor, I hadn't gave this, I'm gonna give double this time. Oh, yes, daughter, come on. Drop it off in my house. Of course, you ain't finna say nothing about their conviction, even though you don't need it, even though it ain't finna go where they think it is. You want them to come through for you. And that's the dependency status. And it's unfortunate, but it is reality. It's true. Everything that is pressure for you to do is lightweight, easy for them to come into. I don't have to put forth that much effort because I have 50 people that I can depend on that's going to be convicted to do it. Okay, I got this coming in. Let me do a conference real quick. Let me do a little prayer line or a little prophecy, a tarrying service or something. Get people emotionally driven so that I can meet this requirement or this debt or get this or pay for this. Or I got a trip coming up or whatever I want to do. It is very real. And I'm not saying everybody does it, but I am pretty sure majority of the pastors have been able to increase their life and who they are and how they live and what they do based off of you, respectfully. I'm even understanding the difference between conviction and my own intuition. The less I give Christianity power over my life, my intuition shines through. I mean, I'm still believing there's a God who talks to me audibly and through dreams, who protects and drops opportunities to me. But the over dramatization of the church really undermines and overshadows the personal journey of God that to me has been more fulfilling. I talked about this in my video last week, Christianity versus spirituality. Go check that out. I talked about this very thing about your personal journey with your creator versus the journey of group community-based Christianity that makes everybody think, act, move, and do the same way. It literally undermines your own journey. I just gave the analogy earlier about your relationship with your creator being controlled by an outside influence, which is leadership and which is church, versus if I was married and it was just supposed to be me and my husband, but now all of a sudden I got somebody else telling me how to do that, how to operate and exist in a space, in a choice that we made to be with each other. You chose salvation. You did. So when you go to church, I feel like church should be community centers. But y'all don't want to hear that from me. I feel as if, though, church should be an experience where you go to, socialize, share your beliefs, empower each other. Maybe it should last for 30 minutes. I mean, a quick, brief session. Do you hear me? Like a good refreshing to just go over things that may have come into your mind, giving people resources and information on how to live a better full life. That's why I understand people don't like Joel Osteen. I mean, like, y'all say he like watered down and he's a heretic and all this other stuff. To me, if he want to encourage the people, aside from the things that he may have done with the hurricane, I totally understand him not opening that facility. Again, it should be a community center. Him not opening, that's why I called it a facility. He didn't open that facility for the people who needed it. But on a church level, like for a ministry and the message, I like that he out here giving people 30-minute messages. Because I don't know why it needs to take more than that anyway. Because some of y'all who've been in church for 30 plus years, y'all have read the whole Bible. If not on your own, you've been to so many services where the same scriptures have been told to you from different contextual standpoints, which is so confusing on how different pastors can get different meanings for the same scriptures. But I digress. So why not just have 30-minute services? Why are y'all in there for an hour and a half, 30 or 2 hours anyway? What y'all doing? It ain't that deep. It ain't that serious. It's not even that fun. It is entertaining. I'll give you that. It is definitely entertaining. I've started to pay attention to how practical and logical I am and less in the clouds. My head has been. That's why I don't use scripture in my videos. Practical and logical. Free yourself. Free yourself. The Bible definitely has some great stories. It has some great wisdom and advice. Some great affirmations. I mean, beautiful affirmations. Proverbs, beautiful affirmations. Read them. Read them every day if you want to. Like if you were to read anybody else's book with any other, helpful wisdom, advice, quotes, or, stories that would encourage and inspire you, read them. Let them be water, salt, and light to you. Let them. If you want them to be, let them be. Let them. Take what you want out of the scriptures. Do that. It's okay. People are out here doing it every day with other books and other things. Hell, people doing it right now with certain laws. People are out here exercising certain laws because they want to. People are out here finding tax laws and loopholes to benefit what they want to do and how they move. You can do that too with the Bible. These are all books that were created by other people. These are all constructs and mindsets and belief systems that were put together by someone else. Don't let it impede upon your ability to do what's best for you. Don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. It's just not fair to you. It's not. But I love that you stated that you've been paying attention to how practical and logical you are. And you're no longer in the clouds in your head. You're just not doing that to yourself. It's sort of like a return to who I was supposed to be before the brainwashing. And this is when I thought about the returning to centers, like in that person that commented a couple of months ago about like they heard return to center, like returning to center. And I'm gonna get some shirts today because it is real. Returning to the center, like where does it all come from? Like, how did we get here? What is the source? Like, what was the reason? What is the purpose? Get back to that. Not what you were given, but get back to who you were created as, who you were created by. It's like being a part of the Rockefeller family. You know who you are. There are no identity crises going on here. The Hilton family, hell, for whatever purpose and intent we want to, the Trump family, a Kardashian, right? When you hear these names, you're able to center immediately who these people are, what they're known for, what they have, what they do, and how they are perceived by the general public and you. You're centered. They are centered in who they are. There's no need for outside influences, information, or any of that. They know. People who choose organized religion be out here confused. People who choose organized religion are as about confused as a eagle who was raised by a chicken. What are you doing? You have been given the ability, the wingspan. We're not gonna even get on it. Y'all understand the analogy. Eagles raised by chickens. Imagine how wild it would be to see an eagle walking around pecking in a coop when it was meant to do what? Fly above, soar, swoop down and grab prey. Like, it ain't the same. We're not the same. We're not the same. So returning to the center, returning to who you are before you were given something else that distracted you from knowing, that distracted you from pursuing, that distracted you from seeing and operating in authentically, transparently, wholeheartedly, and passionately. That has been removed from so many people because there was definitely brainwashing that took place. Funny thing, therapy, meditation, yoga, and prayer have kept me alive. When I pray to God, that's it. No Jesus or Holy Spirit, just God. And even that feels weird sometimes. I've cried more in the last couple of years than I have in my life because I was taught to hide my emotions. And those who were supposed to raise me, I live with my mom, never taught me to handle them. That's deep too. Being raised in church sucks ass. I will say there were people in the church that weren't so brainwashed that helped me through. So even in the den of delusion and crazy, God still looked out. LOL. I know this is long. It wasn't meant to be, but I guess I wanted to let you know that on my deconstruction journey and the crazy I felt while trying to be human, you've really helped me by confirming my thoughts on Christianity, church, and spirituality. I can't say that I'm my 100% authentic self, but I'm definitely close. P.S. If you want to read this online, I don't mind. It could possibly help someone else. I just ask that you keep me anonymous, and indeed I will. Thank you. You're welcome. But as I wrote back and stated, thank you so much for sharing your story. It is a beautiful representation. It is a beautiful proclamation. It is an authentic translation of what so many other people have experienced or have felt or maybe going through right now, and they don't really know what is going to happen next, where it's going to lead them. But I think and I hope this will be confirmation to say, stick with it. You're not alone. You're not crazy. And God, your creator still loves you. I ain't say that at the beginning, but I'm glad it fell in line right here, right now, because that's why I open every video with those 3 points. You're just not. You're not the only one. You won't be the only one. Someone else is going through it too. Someone else is processing through it too. And I love how you said when you pray to God, that's it. It's no Jesus, it's no Holy Spirit. Those are extra things that are added onto it because it makes you feel like you're going harder and stronger and more passionately. And, God is going to really hear you because you addressed, all 3 parts. It's your creator and it's your source and it is a higher power. And if you want to call it, the universe, whatever, however you address who or what it was that made you, just understand that same power is within you. And the moment that you realize and you break away from what you were given by somebody else, you're at home. In that moment, you're home. Like I'm home right now in my body, in my own presence. I am where I'm supposed to be. And I am figuring out what I need to know in order for me to grow. And I'm okay with that. And it's not always a perfect journey. It's not always a simple walk. It's not always an easy time. It's not like I'm constantly figuring things out and I'm constantly moving things and, sorting through and going back and revisiting things that I used to think or things that I used to practice and do or ways that I used to say in the meditation and like the focus. I am constantly doing all of these things. You don't ever get to a perfect place where you're never having to build or you're never having to pursue or you're never having to do. You always have to maintain. That's with everything. But guess what? It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be a struggle to do what is already within you. You're just remembering and you're practicing. You're aligning, you're allowing, you're attracting, and you're enjoying your ability to do it for yourself, with yourself, for the benefit of all of those around you. So I've enjoyed the video. I know it was long. It's a 2-parter. But yeah, I'm back. I'm going to do a couple more videos for y'all today on camera. So y'all better be grateful. Y'all better like these videos and subscribe to the channel because I would love to add you to my 2 cents crew because we doing what? Returning to center. All right, y'all. Take care and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.